And Peter, as a CTO, what does your technology do? Where are you taking us to?
Yeah, so we provide the infrastructure layer for physical AI. And so the complete software stack that enables machines to move, everything from cars to trucks to mining and construction equipment, and then drones and boats and defense.
And therefore, that's what's interesting,
Yeah.
right? Is that we're at the intersection of Silicon Valley and government. We're at the intersection of, for you, defense and also commercial. How has that movement into the world of defense happened organically?
Somewhat. I mean, we're passionate about the field broadly, so certainly it was a deliberate choice on our part to enter the field. But there's so much commercial technology that we've developed that really translates so well into defense. Just some examples. We do work with the Navy, deploying the same kinds of data collection technology that we use for self-driving cars on Navy ships. And we do work broadly across the DoW on simulation testing. We call it the virtual proving ground, which is also directly taken out of our commercial business.
One of the themes of the Hill and Valley Forum, not necessarily just this year, over the number of years it's run, is how easy or not easy is it doing business with the military apparatus of this nation. And throughout the day, a number of founders have given examples where you see decisions made in days where previously it had been months. What's the experience been like for Applied in getting autonomous software stack integrated in various pieces of hardware that our military apparatus relies on?
Things are accelerating. There's no doubt about that. I think that in our own case, we've seen similar things where things maybe have stalled for even a year or so that are really being unblocked. There is a real desire, I think, by the whole apparatus to bring dual-use tech out to the warfighter more quickly.
Physical AI is hard for some people to understand. It is physical things, hardware in the real world, where your competence in software allows that bit of kit to move around a space and make autonomous decisions. What are some of the real world deployments that you can talk about? Because I think there's great skepticism that it has moved beyond robo-taxis and actually drone technology in the context of weapons.
Yeah, so certainly self-driving cars, that is the big first application, and so we have a ton of technology that's now on a bunch of companies all over the world.
Can you name them?
Our website, we work with 18 of the top 20 automakers. Everyone's using some part of our technology at this point, and we've been very deep in that domain actually almost for a decade now.
Right.
In the defense sector, though, there's a lot more focus on drones and drone technology, and so both the autonomous software that runs on drones and also thinking about the effects that you can have when you can swarm drones together.
From your perspective, the ethical dilemma for companies making the technology and then the use in the Pentagon, how is that something that you've been able to bridge as a company, as a leader of the company?
So we're a technology company, and so we focus on building the technology. We're not a political company, we're not a policy company, and I don't think that's actually our role to play. We want to make sure that we have the very best technology and that technology is available, and then I think through our ordinary political process and democracy, that's how we'll actually set those policies.
I always want to offer the opportunity when a company like yours come to the show to explain what I call core competencies, what they're really good at. Kara and I, for quite a long time now, have been talking about Tesla being very good at autonomy, a vision-based approach where their software stack, they would say, is pretty good. NVIDIA is now wading into the physical AI space, not just with inference chips that are good at the edge, their own software, and libraries and catalogs of custom models. Well, why is it that yours are better than theirs?
So I wouldn't say that we're better or worse than theirs, right? We're acting as an infrastructure provider, and we work with the entire industry. And so our core competency is we've built really great infrastructure technology for physical AI, and we're really great at working with the actual manufacturers of these systems to get that integrated and deployed. We're really not just looking at the technology development, but also actually getting this deployed. And the hard part oftentimes is actually getting it into the real world and then solving all of those difficult problems that happen when you're really making use of those systems.
So it sounds as though you feel that there's a future of partnership, no matter what, with your technology. But how do you make sure...
Or the automakers are rubbish at software, which is a reasonable argument, right?
But why are you not going... The anxiety often is that eventually LLMs will come and eat all of the other professional applications. From your perspective, what makes NVIDIA not able to recreate what you've built?
Well, again, these are huge industries, right? If you think about just the automotive industry, it's like several percentage points of the global gross domestic product. And there are millions of people and employees in all of these industries. And so there's plenty of room, honestly, for many players. And I think no one company is going to dominate the entire industry. And NVIDIA plays an important role with chips, but there's many other layers to the technology stack and actually getting this technology deployed.
What I suppose the different domains have in common, robotaxi, in the physical AI space or robotics world, the use of bipedal humanoid robots in the industrial setting. This country is still waiting for sort of thorough federal level regulatory oversight, a list of rules. That's what we hear here at least. Where do you stand on that and the need for it?
I think for robotaxis, there is strong need for a federal policy. Right now it is very state by state, and that's absolutely impeding progress, for example, in long-haul trucking, where you actually have truck routes that would go between multiple states. And if you have to plan your trucking routes based on where the laws allow driverless trucking, that really limits the market potential. I think likewise in robotaxis, the legislation would be easier to follow if it were a national framework rather than state by state. And I think we'll see the same thing in humanoids. Humanoids industry is earlier, but it's advancing very quickly. And I actually hope that we can come up with a single framework for all of these physical AI systems.